What's up, everybody? Charlie Marlowe here. Some great baseball discussion coming up, talking about the Cardinals dropping their opener up there in Milwaukee, 2-zip. Corbin Burnes with a great outing for the Brewers. But first, I want to tell you about a new YouTube channel we got here at 590 The Fan. It's called Football Talk on 590 The Fan KFNS. That's Football Talk on 590 The Fan KFNS. We'll have all of our coverage of the NFL coming up, Mizzou, Illinois, college football, hopefully the Battlehawks. So please go over there and subscribe to that new YouTube channel. We already have about 10 videos or so over there. Football Talk on 590 The Fan KFNS. Thank you for that. And now here's your baseball discussion from Hot Take Central.
Last night, in my opinion, you can describe it a couple different ways. Tony La Russa used to say that's a cap tipper. You tip your cap. I call it a shove. Basically what happened was Corbin Burnes, the reigning Cy Young Award winner in the National League, took the baseball and shoved it where the sun don't shine.
I don't get it.
Then they went to Devin Williams from St. Louis area.
His boy.
Seth's boy. He has a story.
Yep.
And Devin Williams has arguably the greatest pitch in baseball right now. His changeup is just flat out nasty. And then they hand the ball off to Josh Hader, who is probably the best reliever in baseball and is trending towards a Hall of Fame career. So I would love to critique every part of last night's game. Miles Michaelis pitched well.
He did.
But you faced Corbin Burnes, who owns you and punched you out 10 times, and he's nasty as hell. And as I said, he's the reigning Cy Young Award winner in the National League, so he was the best pitcher in the league last year. And then you went, Devin Williams, Rookie of the Year, reliever of the year a couple years ago, Josh Hader, best reliever in baseball. That was one of those games where, even though Miles Michaelis pitched well, I know you tried to scratch out some offense, but it's going to be hard to win that game.
Is that the difference between the Brewers and the Cardinals? I mean, that trifecta right there?
Their bullpen for sure.
I think certainly their bullpen in terms of their high-end guys. Now, look, Genesis Cabrera and Helsley is right up there, obviously, with the Cardinals. And who am I forgetting? I'm already forgetting the third guy.
Gallegos.
Gio Gallegos. But Josh Hader and Liam Hendricks, when healthy, are probably the two best relievers in baseball. As I said, Devin Williams has arguably the toughest pitch to hit in all of baseball. His changeup does things you've never seen a pitch do before. And Corbin Burnes is absolutely nasty. So their top end, I mean, you have the reigning Cy Young Award winner. So yes, that guy's going to be tougher to beat than even Miles Michaelis pitching well right now.
Okay, so when you say the ball does things it's never happened before, like what?
The movement on Devin Williams' changeup, which they call the airbender, is insane.
Like just the movement is more movement than any other pitch anybody else has.
The drop on that pitch, it looks more like a breaking ball. If you go to Pitching Ninja and you watch
Charlie goes to Pitching Ninja.
I'm telling you,
I know,
it's super interesting.
I got you.
If you watch that pitch, it'll have action that you usually don't see before.
Man, damn.
It's devastating. And he throws 95 plus.
He had multiple Tommy John surgeries, right? I know he had one.
Devin Williams?
Mm-hmm.
I know it took him a while to get to the big leagues. I believe he was a 2013 draft.
Yes.
That's Seth's buddy.
That's his buddy right there. Hey, Sir Nathaniel, how'd the Bay Dog do last night? He's swinging out of his boots or what?
Nobody did that hot last night. Only 3 hits, 2 of which came from Juan Yepez, which again begs the question why he wasn't in the lineup on Sunday.
Why?
That was the big debate yesterday. In fact, if anybody was tuned into the Bernie show, it was a pretty funny opening segment because initially Bernie wasn't too pissed off about. I mean, he was just saying Ollie had a horrible weekend managing in Boston, and then as the time chewed up the segment, the engine was revving.
Yeah, he got more. Yeah,
and it was just why in the hell? Why was Pujols playing? And it really does. It makes no sense.
What else did he say that Oli did over the weekend that was bad?
Well, it's really just not using guys in the right spots in the lineup.
But is that him or is that up above?
Well, that's the thing, yeah.
Well, it's what?
I don't know. Who's walking the dog?
Why would you? I mean, being a baseball manager is kind of like in hockey or in football. You're doing your thing. Whatever I want to do today, I'm going to do it. If I want to change the lineup this way, if I want to do this, now a couple like Lou Lamoriello, I always bring back to him, but it is what it is. He would maybe put his foot down on the lineup.
Yeah.
But as far as changes throughout the game, lines, this, that, and the other. Like, the coach has full reign.
I'll tell you something. There's to me maybe one team right now that I could identify in the National League whose manager is probably doing that. You want to? Anybody got a guess?
In the National League?
Yeah.
And he's getting his plays from above, you're saying?
No, I'm saying he's running that show, and it's running pretty well.
Dodgers coach?
Nope.
You saying good old Buck?
I'm saying good old Buck Showalter.
Good old Bucky.
I don't know what their upstairs looks like right now in terms of analytics. I just if there's a manager who seems to have the pulse of his team that is pulling all the right levers, it appears to be Buck Showalter.
Do you think Ollie's like, what am I doing not playing Yepes? Do you think he's thinking that to himself?
Well, here's what's funny about that. Because yesterday, we focused a lot on Yepes, and here's the other part. How about Nolan Gorman?
Yeah.
Now, I know Nolan Gorman has interesting splits right now, but he only has something like 6 plate appearances versus lefties. But this dude also is going to hit righties, and he has all of his power versus righties. Remember, the night before, he hit a bomb. So it's not just Albert versus Juan Yepes. It's also Albert versus Juan Yepes, Nolan Gorman. And to be honest with you, so here's where I didn't get to listen to Bernie's segment, but I did click on his article. And this is the thing that's great about Bernie is he'll give you all the stats. And in terms of guys who have a certain amount of plate appearances, like Albert does against righties, it's 80-plus plate appearances. There's about 300 dudes in baseball. Albert is literally towards the bottom in every category. We're talking he's towards the bottom of those 280 players in almost every category. Batting average, on-base slug. So this is getting to a point where I think we hit critical mass because everybody looked at that game and said, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Everybody loves Albert, all right? Everybody loves the history. But also, you have a chance to win a division. You can't say this is the best matchup. There is nowhere you can find a best matchup. Now, if you go, hey, that right-hander, Albert owns him in his career, and he doesn't throw very hard, because I think Albert has trouble catching up with heat. I think that's pretty obvious, because Pivetta was not throwing 100. Pivetta was throwing 93 to 95, and Albert was having trouble with fastballs right down the middle. It just is what it is at this point. Albert Pujols can crush lefties. Every single person on your team is a better option versus a right-hander.
Man, it's going to turn on them. Like, it's going to start turning on them. Like, these baseball fans don't mess around here in STL, baby.
Well, I think the fact that everybody's talking and writing about this was the focus of everything with the Cardinals yesterday. I think the message, I'm not saying Ollie reacts to the media, but you couldn't explain that one away. There's no way you can any longer explain with any data why Albert's getting at bats versus righties.
Did he try?
If you throw out there that, look, Boston fans wanting to see him, that's not why you play baseball.
I know.
You play baseball to win. And by the way...
Did he actually say that?
Well, in his postgame on Sunday that Boston fans wanted to see Albert. I get that, but that's why you had your moment with Big Papi. That's what that's about.
Yeah. Boston fans really care about Albert, you think?
They gave him a nice ovation.
Yeah, I know, but do you think, you better play Albert, we're going to protest? Like, I don't think they'd care that much. They got their superstars.
Wow, I didn't realize he actually said that.
Did he try to defend playing him?
Well, he's been asked about it for a long time. Look, Albert Pujols has 80-plus plate appearances. And he's batting in the 130s, 127, whatever it is, versus righties. You can no longer defend that.
You think Ollie's like, okay, I got to have a meeting with the big boys and talk about this? Because it's on him. And if he's getting that, that message from up top, and now he's getting all the criticism for it, like we're talking about him every damn day, you think he's going to go have a talk with the big boys, Sir Nathaniel?
I think Seth was onto something. What was that, like 2 weeks when you asked Jimmy, do you think the Cardinals are going to DFA Albert?
Oh, Sethy boy from the clouds.
But I mean, if it was any other player, they would highly consider it.
I think you're right.
It's just for nostalgia purposes.
It's backfiring.
It's
on
just
him.
Well, he initially started off as only facing lefties, and now all of a sudden he's facing all these righties. And we knew going into this, it's been proven the past however many years that he can't hit righties anymore.
I think what
So I don't
you
know why it's
find
being
out
forced.
is that baseball is 162 games, and a good story is nice for about a week. And then you realize, oh, wait, we have to carry this guy on
We
the
got work to do.
roster for 6-7 months.
Yeah, man.
So, because I wanted to get the quote correct, so Derek Gould's article from the 18th, which was Saturday. So, in this article, this is before Pujols even started. So, in Derek Gould's article from STL Today, it says, it's possible Pujols will start Sunday. Cardinals manager Oliver Marmol acknowledged sentiment, and the number of Cardinals fans in the Fenway crowd this weekend will be part of his decision. Quote, I do, he said. It will weigh into it. That's a bad look. I'm sorry.
It's a real
That's a bad
look.
quote. I wasn't there, but you can't say that. This is Major League Baseball, man.
And no offense, if I'm one of those young kids too, like I love Albert, but I don't love him that much. I like myself too, and I want to play.
And by the way, there's going to be, first of all, you're going to have a good amount of lefties. You face a lefty, let's say 25 to 30% of the time. There could be a pinch hit spot late in the game. And also, the whole nostalgia thing, there's going to be a lot of games where it's 8-1, 9-1 late. You could be up, you could be down. Albert can get some ABs in those
There's
spots
ways to do it.
versus righties.
Yep, there's ways to do it. What were you going to say there, Nathaniel?
What was I going to say? Oh, his main gist, too, and going back to that Bernie segment, it was about at 3:30, 3:40. If people want to go back and listen to it, they can. But his gist was, look, you're not doing Albert any favors. Like, he's got pride.
Yeah.
He knows he can't. He's not hitting right-handers. This is not some new leaf that he's suddenly finding out. The reality is Albert hasn't been able to hit right-handed pitching for a long time.
So what about Albert saying something then?
Well, what are you going to say?
Well, say that I'm not
Skipper,
doing anything. Get these young kids in there. Just like what Charlie said, I'll go against lefties. Put me in when we're up. Put me in when we're down. We need to win. He's not thinking that way as a team player. He's getting lit up. So he's not thinking that way
I don't know.
as the leader of that
player
team.
that's pulling himself out of the lineup.
Well, I'm just saying. He ain't hitting. And these kids are probably like, I like you, Albert, but I kind of don't like you every single day, less and less every day now because I'm not getting my at-bats, and I deserve it.
And this is where Father Time is undefeated. It's crazy to say, if you'd have gone back 10 years or whatever, and you're saying, and I know nobody knows who Juan Yepez is at the time, or Nolan Gorman, but right now, even though Albert Pujols is a first ballot Hall of Famer, 3,000 hits, 600 home runs, Juan Yepez is a better option versus righties. Nolan Gorman is a better option versus righties. And oh, by the way, if you look up everybody's stats, basically everyone in baseball is a better option versus righties. So you're doing a disservice to Albert when he's going out there and striking out 3 straight times, because that's like putting me and you out there. I know that sounds disrespectful to Albert there, but literally, he's hitting 127. That's a pitcher's batting average back in the day. I looked this up. That's like Adam Wainwright's batting average as a pitcher.
What's that called when you get over 200?
Mendoza.
Yeah.
He's not even close to that.
Yeah. God, man. It's goofy.
So, and again, this was kind of more of yesterday's story, but I think everybody's talking about it to a point where it should have settled in with Ollie that this is a mistake. You can't do this for nostalgia. You can't. I understand opening day. Remember, we argued about that.
We did.
But that's the same discussion. The same discussion is that Albert Pujols, for as great as he is, first ballot Hall of Famer, kills lefties, he is no longer a weapon versus righties.
Then fine, Ollie. Put your foot down. Put your big boy pants up and put your foot down on this and talk to somebody.
I also think it's just a story because it's June 21st, and it's something that sports personalities can get a little rambunctious about.
I mean, but it's an obvious decision that shouldn't be made. And it's not like, well, maybe you could. No, you're like, no, he's terrible. You got guys that could bomb it, young kids that could use some confidence, and you keep strutting them out there. I don't know.
And
it's
by the way, you could actually win more games.
Oh, yeah.
That's at the core of all of this.
Yes.
At the core of all of this is every time you give a plate appearance to Albert versus a righty, you're taking production off the table because Juan Yepez is going to be more productive in those spots. Nolan Gorman is going to be more productive in those spots. you actually can flip some of these games. And I think Sunday was the perfect storm for this argument because you had the whole celebration with the number 5 with Big Papi. You had Ollie's comments, which everybody raised an eyebrow. You had Gorman hitting a homer the night before and then not playing. You had Albert striking out 3 times and not looking competitive in his at-bats. And then Yepez gets 1 AB versus a righty and hits a 3-run bomb.
I mean, come on.
It was the perfect storm for everybody to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding when I say this. I've never seen a team more apt to just throw games away in the early 3 months of the season as the Cardinals have this year.
So winning games is a priority in baseball?
What?
Should be.
Okay.
But
I didn't know.
I think they look at their division and they say, we can be a pretty good to mediocre to good to above good at times team and still win the Central Division. And if that means we're going to find out more about our guys by putting them in and having them hit in situational spots that maybe don't make sense analytically, we're going to do it. And I think that's what happened with the Jordan Hicks experiment. I think it's what happened the other day with Jack Flaherty. I think it's why they continue to trot out Drew Verhagen, who can't get anybody out. I think it's why they're just throwing things at the wall to see what sticks. It seems sort of like a guesstimate.
And what you just said, I wish they would do that with Juan Yepez and Nolan Gorman. If you're going to let these guys, let them play. Let them fail.
Mm-hmm.
They're young.
Exactly.
They're 22, 23, 24 years old. Those are the guys, I don't even mind that. What I think is even more interesting is, and I understand Ollie's comments, but Ollie, in essence, said, we're not going to throw our big 3, Gio, Helsley, and Genesis Cabrera, down 2. Now, I'm not going to go off on a limb here and then say that the Cardinals aren't trying to win. But saying that and knowing that your other relief options are not very good at all, to me as an opponent, I'm thinking, well, if I get a 2-run lead, I basically have won that game because the Cardinals are not going to go to their top 3 shelf relievers if they're down 2. And the Cardinals have a pretty good offense this year. If the Cardinals are down 3-1 in the 6th inning, there should be some games where they come back and score 3-4 runs. But if you're never going to throw Helsley, Gio, and Genesis Cabrera in those spots, guess what? Your 2-run deficit turns into a 5-run deficit, and then even if you come back with a Juan Yepez 3-run homer, you still lose the game 6-5. Mm-hmm. To me, that's a really bad sign. When you are chasing a game down 2 runs, let's say it's in the 6th and the 7th, and in essence, you're punting that game. You're punting that game because you're throwing relievers in Whitgren and Verhagen that are ERAs in the 5s and 6s and 7s.
Yeah.
You're not going to win those games usually.
855-282-8255. I do want to hear from you. And I did ask a question, top 3 things that are great about baseball right now and top 3 things that are not great about baseball right now. I do want to hear from you. We got gift certificates on the table for this Friday. Make me laugh, entertain me. I want to learn something. That's how it goes. Do you want to give a story out first real quick? You want to go at your buddy?
Sure, yeah.
What's his name again? I'm sorry.
Devin Williams.
Yeah, Devin Williams.
He's a setup guy for the Milwaukee Brewers. Really cool story because he dealt with a lot of injuries, was a real late bloomer. Didn't really know if he was going to stick or not. He had all this promise coming out of high school.
High school?
No, he's from my hometown. He grew up in Florissant with me, same age. Known him since 5th grade, played against him most of my life. Got a double off him once.
Are you faster than he
is?
Yeah, I was faster than him.
I hope so.
He wasn't fast though. He was talented all around. I mean, most guys are. A lot of those guys, they can kind of play whatever sport they want.
Yeah.
Baseball was always his forte. So he went to CBC his freshman and sophomore year, and then went to Hazelwood West his junior and senior year. So
hang with the girls then.
So when
That's good.
transferred to Hazelwood West, he was bringing in 50, 60 scouts at Hazelwood West. I mean, that's not like a big time. I know McClellan went there, and David Phelps went there as well. But McClellan was like a 25th rounder, and then Phelps was, I think, 14th because he opted out of high school and then went to Notre Dame. So when Devin came along, I mean, no one had seen anything like this. It's not like they're like, a protege or a high school baseball club. So funny story. So I used to hang out with him all the time my freshman, sophomore year, really before he took off and started playing. He played for the St. Louis Pirates which is a pretty solid AAU ball club. So this one time, it was my freshman year of high school. We were all 15 years old, and I had him and my buddy over because my parents, it was a Saturday night, and my parents were gone. They went to run to the store or something. So we had that little window. You know how when you're, when the parents go out of town, that's the house that people go to pregame, especially when, you're not supposed to be doing what you're doing.
Yeah, dude.
So it was me, him, and another buddy, and them two came over. His mom dropped them off to my place, said, hey, we can hang out at my place, do whatever we want before we go out that night. We had plans that night. So they bring over, unbeknownst to me, a fifth of, let's say, country club, something awful, something that only you could, hey, mister, and afford. And he brought over that and some cigars. I'd never smoked cigars in my life. I was 15 years old. So we all, at the time we thought we were the coolest people because we were, getting
you were the
coolest
stuff.
I know.
What are you talking about?
Still am. No, but it was us three. And so he brought over that stuff. And then we ended up getting picked up maybe like a half an hour, 45 minutes later. His mom came back. I guess she was running errands. And then she came back and picked us up to take us back to her place, which is probably like, I don't know, a 7 to 10 minute drive. So she picks us up, takes us back to her place, and then she runs off with her boyfriend. They go out into the night. And as we're about to head out soon, we're about to get picked up, Devin starts like patting his hips and is like, oh my God. He goes, I forgot the cigars. He goes, and that bottle and those cigars are sitting on your mom's chest table.
Oh boy.
In plain sight, wide open.
She don't like you smoking cigars?
She doesn't like me doing it. I mean,
those are dads.
She's a good, yeah.
She's strict at the time, right? Your parents are really strict?
I wouldn't say
because
like
15 years old and having cigars ain't that big of a deal. But if your parents are strict, it is.
They let me live my life. I'll say that. But at the same time though, they were very hard on, if we catch you seeing something in the act or you're doing something that's wrong that is disobedient, then we're gonna come down on you for it. So he left that there. So we're all freaking out at this point because we're 15. We don't have a license, nothing. So I told him, I said, look, my parents get back in 20 minutes. We got to find a way to go get this
cigar.
I said, I don't care how we do it. I said, I'll run back to the damn house if I have to. It was a 7-minute drive. So there's no way realistically I was actually going to get back on time to get everything in before they got returned home. So right as I'm walking out the door, because I didn't know what to do, I was going to see if I could get a ride or something, but none of my friends could drive yet or anything. So Devin goes, wait a minute. He goes, I think I know something. And he runs into the garage and I hear him cheering. And I'm like, what is he doing? Because his mom had already left and there was no cars out in the front. But unbeknownst to me, his mom's boyfriend's truck was in the garage and he left his keys there. So all three of us, and he was always fairly tall. He's like, what, 6'3"? He's pretty tall. He was always tall even when we were young. And I don't even know if my foot could have reached the damn pedal. Like I have like,
well, you can move the seat up.
Yeah, I know that. But at the time though, like I don't even know if I had my permit yet. Like we were that, like I never like sat in the seat of a car, like the driving seat of a car and like actually maneuvered a vehicle. So we hopped into his mom's boyfriend's truck, who I only met like once. I don't even think they dated that long.
I would have been pissed.
And then he hopped in there and sure enough, it was a 2-seat truck. And Devin was in the driver's seat, and my buddy and me, we were so nervous because we looked so young. Like I had a baby face, so did my buddy that was in the passenger side. We crouched down in like the feet landing, like at the bottom part. Like we didn't even sit on the seat. We crouched down. It literally looked like we were kidnapped.
That would look really goofy if
we got pulled over. Yeah, no, we would.
That looked really goofy, so you know.
Yeah.
What are they doing?
What are they doing?
Yeah.
What you doing down there, boy?
Where's the spready drop when I need it? But anyway, no, we actually got back, and I've told my parents this story, by the way, so this is nothing new. But he ended up driving back to my parents' place, and I bolted inside, grabbed the cigars and vodka, ran right back into his mom's boyfriend's truck, and then I think my parents texted me like 5 or 10 minutes later, and they said, "Hey, we're home. Where did you end up going?"
Just in the nick of time, baby.
It was that quick, and then. The reason we even went back to his mom's place was because my other buddy I was with, his girlfriend, lived right up the street, and her mom was taking us to wherever we were going that night.
God, your moms are taking you.
It sucks. And he had to text his girlfriend being like, hey, we got a situation on our hands. Like we gotta have you wait for a sec. And it was a perfect storm.
So you pulled the car
so
in,
we got out
put
just
the
in time.
keys perfectly where they were, and the guy didn't know that he
No
took
clue.
Because I'm telling y'all, you take somebody's truck like that. Oh,
Yeah.
Never mind the stupid ass cigars. You getting in somebody's vehicle is way worse than that.
All it takes is one wheel cocked when you're parked.
Something,
Like they
dude.
know, yeah. So
He doesn't know what he's doing.
I don't think I ever asked him like, "Hey, did you ever get questioned about it or anything?" Because it was such a short drive, and I don't know. It was pretty.
But
nuts,
what's your mom and dad going to do though? So you're
Bait
15.
you?
What are they going to do if they
Yeah.
if they come home and see cigars there? Are they really going to do something to you?
They would have grounded me for a weekend, but like I said, off break,
But that's
when I was
hell
telling
on
you,
earth, eh?
that's the end of your life if you miss a weekend. You're missing. That ends up being the best party of the year.
Yeah,
knowing my
no
luck
doubt.
or something like that. Or,
There's girls everywhere.
By the way,
Yeah.
this was Devin Williams' first career save.
Yeah. Oh, boom, Charlie. Boom, Charlie. They would have grounded you, and getting grounded in high school, like it's like your life's over.
yeah, it sucks. That's one less mixer I could go to, right? No,
Did
I'm
you
just
get
kidding.
grounded in high school, Charlie?
I don't think high school. I think probably more junior high. I hate to say it, I was a pretty good kid.
You're a good kid, weren't you, dude?
Well,
you're a good kid.
I got away with things. I always felt bad for my little brother because I feel like my little brother and I did the same things, and he always got caught for them. So all the different drinking and smoking as a high schooler, I just was able to not get caught for all that. But I also think some of that is knowing to not push your boundaries.
Yeah.
For example, we had a big backyard, and we had bonfires in our backyard. We had a nice creek back there, a nice creek. So we always had bonfires. So people would always come over, and of course everybody's drinking back there. But it was kind of one of those, if I can't see it, it's not happening situations.
Yeah.
So it never happened really in my parents' house. Now, my parents didn't come back there and check on us. I think they knew we were drinking. But as long as we're in the backyard and we clean up
and you're not going anywhere.
and we're not going, well, I wasn't. Now,
Yeah.
clearly some other kids are probably driving, which isn't great.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things where if they don't see the problem, there wasn't a problem. Now, every once in a while, one of my dumb friends, because you'd have all these beer bottles, all these beer cans, and I'd have garbage bags ready to go because I was making sure.
Yeah, dude.
And I'd be like, dude, take these garbage bags, throw them top of the street. There's a dumpster up by those restaurants. Throw them in the dumpster. And my idiot friend would throw them in my next door neighbor's yard because he's stupid.
That's a guaranteed ass kicking for
Right.
him.
But other than that, we got away with it.
He threw him in your neighbor's. Oh, my God.
Just being dumb.
Oh. Sir Nathaniel, were you a bad kid?
That was a
Do your
perfect kid.
Do your parents still ground you to this day?
Yes.
I heard they do.
Yes, I've to.
You act up on the radio. That's what I
I
heard.
do.
They ground you the other day?
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. I go straight to the institution after
That's
the radio.
what
I'm
it
on
is.
work release from that place.
The institution. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, my parents are so damn lenient. I don't remember getting grounded. Ever. Really. And I was god-awful. God-awful child. Jesus. I think the Cardinals front office ownership forgot that everyone already owns Pujols' jersey. There was never much to gain on the field or financially with Albert. Do you think that's true? Charlie, go.
It's a fun story. It makes the fans feel good. Are you really going to sell that many more tickets because of Albert Pujols? Remember, the Cardinals always sell a ton of tickets anyway. I think if Albert legitimately would have had a chance at 700, then you got all the marketing going on with that.
Yeah.
It sure looks like that's not going to happen because he's way far away and we're 60-plus games into the season. I don't hate the move because I'm a fan of baseball, but the bottom line is he's getting way too many at-bats versus righties. That's all this is. Just
tighten that up.
Hit him versus lefties, and when you're up 9-1 and you're down 8-1, give him that at-bat, and at the end of the year, if you're in the playoffs and you don't have anything to play the last weekend, give Albert his moment. He already had his moment on opening day. But yeah, I mean, I thought early on the Cardinals were doing a good job of weaving in nostalgia with winning. But to be fair, Albert was hitting better early on. So now
Tighten them pants up, boy.
you have to shut this down. You have to shut it down.
Shut it down. Shut it down. 314 Johnson goes, how the hell do I make it to the bigs and can't hit a lefty or righty making that kind of coin?
But that's not the case here. Albert Pujols hit everybody for 15 years.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking
As
about.
he's aged, just versus a right-hander who throws hard, Albert basically doesn't have the bat speed to compete where he has to start his swing a little early. And if that happens, all of a sudden, if you're out front, out on your front foot, if kind of all of your weight shift is already cheating, then any type of breaking pitch is going to have you just tornadoing into the ground.
Yeah, and he's got bad ankles too, doesn't he?
He's always had bad feet. He had that plantar fasciitis situation. But what is he? What's he listed at? 42?
So that tack on about 5 more to that?
He's a big body guy.
Yeah, he is. He's got that milk body a little bit. But Albert, man, I'm telling you, I told the story before. We did that foundation, the basketball tournament. Like he's in Los Angeles or Anaheim or whatever, and he flies in that day, and he's got bad feet, and he's not even playing because he's hurt. And he goes and he plays a 40-minute basketball game with the charity, and he just has a smile on his face the whole time. You could just tell that. You're like, dude, don't get hurt, man. Don't re-injure anything. He's a good dude. He's in a weird spot. The Cardinals are in a weird spot, but it's an easy fix. It's like an easy fix. We said it 15 times already. Like, the fans are like, what are we doing here? So it's not, I don't know.
It's reached a point, though. It's reached a point now where it's insane.
It's insane, yeah. Thought the original lineup last night had Goldie at first and Yepes as a DH. Then the team switched them, but left them in the same batting order. Has any reason been given for the change? 636.
I saw that pregame, so I'm not going to lie to you. I did not watch the postgame.
Tell Jimmy that.
Maybe just a break from being on the field.
Yeah.
Goldschmidt's been on first base pretty much all season.
That's where you can definitely tell that Ollie likes to take guys off their feet. And you have gold glovers in Arenado and Goldschmidt, but they're on the other side of 30. So clearly, Ollie likes to take these guys off their feet every once in a while, once every 2-3 weeks, and have them just DH in a game to basically give them kind of a half day off.
I get that. Let's see here. Bastard James Hahn chimes in and goes, I don't remember which radio show I heard this on, but evidently DeWitt plays a deep personal... Okay, sorry, Bastard. I don't remember which radio show I heard this on, but evidently DeWitt plays deep on personal decisions. Wonder if this applies to games too.
I don't think Bill DeWitt and John Mozeliak are calling up Ollie and saying you got to play Albert at Fenway Park. I understand.
You don't
that.
think they are?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I think it's more, dude, Ollie, I get it, but Ollie is in a spot, too, where Ollie's younger than Albert Pujols.
He's younger than us.
Ollie is younger than us. Ollie is a first-year manager, even though I have all of the respect in the world for him as a baseball man, but he is younger than Albert Pujols, and he has a dude in Albert who is a first-ballot Hall of Famer. That's not easy to take that dude out of the lineup. You know, it's easy to take Lars Nootbaar out of the lineup.
Yeah.
It's even easy to take Juan Yepes.
It was easy to take me out of the lineup if they needed to.
There you go, Nolan Gorman.
Yeah.
It's not as easy to sit down the guy who has 680 career home runs.
Yeah, I know. But
at this
sometimes
point,
you got to do it.
No, you have to.
You got to do it. He can't run the show. You have to put your foot down, man. And everybody sees that, too.
I do not understand why it's easy to take Gorman out of the lineup. I really don't. I mean, it'd be like buying a brand new car and then having it sit in the garage because you're
afraid to drive.
You want to protect it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't want to rock to chip it or something. I mean, let him go.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. This team
Spread your wings, baby.
This team isn't doing anything unless Gorman is a key contributor, like in the stretch run.
Somebody chimed in. There was a week or so where Albert was the only one that could drive in runs. About a week. Mitchie Boy chimes in. Oh, yeah, he answered my question. You got 3 things that you like. I'm going to go around the horn on this, too. And then we're going to go to trivia. What do you got?
Well, one more point on what Nate said. Another part of this is, so let's say, I think this year's Cardinals team is good. Now, are they a World Series contender? Not from what I've seen yet, but I think they can absolutely win this division. That also says a lot about this division. I don't think this division is elite. Now, Corbin Burnes is, but also the rest of the Brewers pitching staff, they're banged up. So it's not the Brewers pitching staff that entered the year right now. Now, some of these guys are getting healthy, but you're also, by not giving as many plate appearances to Nolan Gorman and Juan Yepes, these should be the guys that hopefully lead you to a World Series in the next 2-3 years.
Yeah.
So you're stunting their development by sitting there. Because you already know what you have with Albert. You do.
Yeah.
You know what you have with Albert. Albert is a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he's 40-plus years old.
Yeah.
You need to figure out exactly what you have with Nolan Gorman and Juan Yepes.
By the way, the great Jeff Fisher,
Oh, yeah.
he chimed in on this.
going 7-9 or 8-8 or 9-7. This team's too talented. I'm not going to settle for that.
Okay.
What do you settle for?
Cocho Ocho.
What do you settle
I think
for that
he,
year? He got
won
7.
8.
less, didn't he?
He goes 7 and 9.
Was that his only year as the LA Rams head coach? I'm gonna look this up.
We're not going 7-9. What'd you do? We went 7-9 again.
Good old fish. Good old fish.
He
Charlie's-
went 2 and 8 in the USFL this year.
Yeah, he's good.
I
Why
like
would you
Jeff
even
Fisher
coach?
though.
I do too, but why would you even coach in the U.S.?
I don't know. Don't you got coin? Don't you want to kick your feet up on your lake and drive your boat around and look at your grandkids? Don't you want to do that? Do you need money?
Okay, so Jeff Fisher was fired with a 4-9 record as the LA Rams coach in 2016.
It's pretty good.
Was that the first year?
The first
think
year
it
in
was.
LA, he was fired mid-season. I forgot about that.
He had gotten an extension right before that too.
Well, we know
Like a
why.
month.
That extension was thanks for getting us to St. Louis.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, to LA.
Okay.
Yeah. Pujols is getting Dickerson's right-handed at-bats right now. Who gets DFA'd first? I'm leaning Dickerson with left-handed batters Nootbaar and Burley raking in AAA.
Are they okay? I know Seth brought this up. Are they suggesting the Cardinals might DFA Albert Pujols?
I don't know.
That's the craziest thing in the history. No offense, Seth,
No.
No offense, but
but that's never happening. That's never happening.
That is 7-9 bullshit.
They would find a way to get him on the injured list before that happened.
Charlie is right. Charlie's right. Albert is behind on fastballs, but Lord, I'm always intently watching when Albert is at the plate. Yeah,
I
mean,
get that, but guess what?
But he ain't doing nothing
I get excited to watch Juan Yepes hit. I get excited to watch Nolan Gorman hit.
because they actually do hit. They do hit, and it's Carlos Danger through a Mike Tyson Bumblebee outfit. What is going on?
To be
with
fair,
that?
too, why this connects back to Sunday is because you knew you were facing Corbin Burnes on Monday. And so if you got a chance to win a series against a quality opponent in Boston, you need to have your best unit out there. I mean, what the hell are you doing?
I don't know.
And then you go in and you get shoved in the first game by a reigning Cy Young guy up to Milwaukee. Who cares if they've been struggling? I mean, and the Cardinals have not fared well in Milwaukee. I think they got swept the last time they were up there, and now they lose game 1 here.
Milwaukee, we call it, Sir Nathaniel. Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
All right, let's get to this, and then we'll get it. We'll get to trivia at 8:30. I'm organized today, man.
Look at you.
Well, guess what I do, okay? Mitchie chimes in and goes, 3 things I dislike are pace of play, the shift, and all the strikeouts. 3 likes. First, how tight players' pants are in today's game, giving you an idea of the heat they're packing down below. Second, walk-off jersey shredding is kind of erotic. Yeah, okay. God, I suck at reading. Third, fantasy football controversies. Yeah, you're reaching on that one, Mitchie boy. You're reaching on that one, homie. Bastard James Hahn, the Sinclair YouTube TV debacle has made baseball so irrelevant to me that I have zero opinions on this.
That's a legit point.
I kind of agree.
Dang right.
Let me tell you something. I hate to admit this. I waited about 2 years to switch. 2 years.
Yeah.
But that was because I was working at Fox 2, where any night I'm talking about sports, I'm at work anyway.
Yeah.
So I can watch the games. But I waited almost 2 years because I kept waiting for YouTube TV to figure out a deal or Sinclair to figure out a deal with them. And then I finally went back to DirecTV. That ticks a lot of people off, man.
Yeah, I bet it does.
And by the way, here's another part. YouTube TV. We're trying to cancel YouTube TV now. They make it impossible. They make it impossible to even find how to cancel.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those things.
Dude.
I went to 27 different websites.
Dude, TV is such a weird thing right now. I mean, there's so many different options that you have to go to. It's not an all-in-one spot. Like, it's, God, I keep seeing goofy, but it is goofy. It's annoying. I gotta press 50,000 buttons to find another button, to press another button, to go down a list of nothing. I don't know. 636 chimes in, goes 3 best. Waino's day after pitching old man walks. Okay. Goldie, Arenado, Yachty, Albert, and Waino, same team, same time, and Skip in the dugout. Jimmy the Cat Hayes. 3 worse. Rob Manfred, and Rob Manfred. Busch Stadium is the cheapest thing in this rundown city.
The cheapest thing?
Busch Stadium is the cheapest thing in the rundown city.
Like reasonable prices, they're saying?
Is it?
I don't understand that text.
I spend a lot of money when I go there. I'm not going to lie to you.
Is the cheapest thing?
Best things. 6-month-long storylines, clutch moments, admirable players. Worst things. Twitter. Yeah, I get you on that, man.
Just log off.
Yeah, log off once in a while. Spartan 44 chimes in and goes, just about all Gorman does is strike out. I can't see how they are excited about this guy. It's looking like they need to make a trade for a shortstop or a second baseman, as well as anyone that can pitch. Spartan.
Nolan
Military
Gorman,
boy.
he's got about 90 plate appearances, and his OPS plus is what? 116. This is his first year in the big leagues, and so far he's 16% above league average. He's only going to get better.